Hello everyone, and welcome back to 2K14 Universe. This is Monday Night Raw.
Making his way to the ring from Glasgow, Scotland, Rocky Pierre.
Well, we were promised the reveal of something big here tonight, and I've been told that Hulk Hogan will be going one-on-one with a mystery opponent, a new superstar, a hot free agent who has been signed to Monday Night Raw in the King of the Ring tournament. A free agent straight in the King of the Ring tournament, everybody. We're going to find out who that free agent is right now as they face Roddy Piper. Okay.
And approaching the ring from Detroit, Michigan, weighing 317 pounds, Big Daddy Cool, Batista.
Oh, we got a newbie on the Raw roster who's immediately going into the King of the Ring tournament, where the winner will get a shot at the unchosen world title by Chris Jericho. And we now know that in one of the first rounds from Raw, Hulk Hogan will face this newcomer, Diesel. And I think he might have a twin brother that used to work here on Raw, because he looks very familiar. But don't worry, guys, this isn't who you're thinking. This is Diesel. This is a brand new guy here on Raw. Yes, indeed. Diesel, everybody, making his Raw debut. And he'll face Hogan in the King of the Ring tournament. Well, Hogan got rid of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall. Maybe he needed them to beat Diesel. Maybe. Well, let's find out just what this newbie, this brand new guy we've never seen before by the name of Diesel, is capable of. As he starts things off against Roddy Piper here on Raw. We got 3MB after Drew McIntyre defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin last week and Mick Foley qualified for the Elimination Chamber. We got 3MB in a 3-on-2 handicap against Austin and Foley. So that's pretty interesting, is it not? And we've also got, coming your way tonight, 3 Elimination Chamber qualifiers. Shawn Michaels will take on Dean Ambrose up next. The Miz will face Daniel Bryan in the final Elimination Chamber qualifier. Batista will face Yokozuna. Right now, the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber, which happens next Sunday, we'll see Stone Cold Steve Austin defend against Mick Foley and Drew McIntyre, but 3 more participants will be determined here tonight. And I am very intrigued to find out who those 3 are going to be. We also, as I mentioned before, Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan, Diesel and Hulk Hogan will face off in the King of the Ring tournament next Sunday. We know from SmackDown that the 2 first-round matches will see the Brothers of Destruction collide. Kane and Undertaker, and also CM Punk and Edge will go one-on-one in the tournament. But there's still one more space left, and that's here on the Raw side, and I will confirm to you after the events of last week's main event of Raw that Randy Orton and The Rock will go one-on-one for the first time, finally! Well, first time since this all started between them. They've probably faced off before, but Randy Orton and The Rock will compete in the Elimination Chamber King of the Ring tournament. That is, the King of the Ring tournament at the event called Elimination Chamber, not an Elimination Chamber that is also a tournament, just to clarify. So from Raw, Rock and Orton and Diesel and Hogan, and then from SmackDown, we'll be seeing Punk and Edge and Undertaker and Kane. Of course, semifinals and the finals will all be taking place on the same night of Elimination Chamber, because the night after that, Chris Jericho makes his decision for who he will face at WrestleMania, and the champion that is not decided by Chris Jericho will face the King of the Ring. So, there it is. It's all set up. Yeah, I'm interested in this rookie Big Diesel. He's been pretty good so far, I'd say. He's had some good offense. Roddy Piper, though, he's coming in pretty strong here. And a roll-up attempt here by Roddy Piper. You can never trust that Rocky Pierre, I'll tell you what. Jawbreaker there by Diesel. I mean, by Roddy Piper on Diesel. Sorry, I'm trying to remember to call this guy Diesel because, well, that's his name, and I've got to get used to that, you know. These newcomers, sometimes it takes a while to learn who they are. It's just noticed my microphone sound a lot louder today. I don't know. Bear hug by Diesel doesn't getting him for very long with that one. I think Hogan's in for a tough challenge with Diesel here tonight. Very interested in seeing who fills up the Elimination Chamber from Raw, though. You know, SmackDown's Elimination Chamber for the World Heavyweight title is definitely pretty stacked at the moment. For those that don't know, over on SmackDown, we got John Cena defending the World Heavyweight Championship against Mark Henry, Big Show, and Triple H. Right now, Austin's only set to defend against Mick Foley and Drew McIntyre. There is still room for more. Why not? He's already done neck breakers quite a few times. I'll tell you, this Diesel, he's apparently he's not wrestled in a little while, so he's got a little bit of ring rust. I don't really know where we found this guy, but oh, he is good. And Diesel now looking for a powerbomb of some kind. Guess he could maybe jack a knife or two. Roddy Piper with a good reversal there, though. And now, okay, he was going to go for a powerbomb, so pile driver. I think Roddy Piper's about to pick up a victory over this newbie. Oh no, Diesel kicked out. And now, oh boy. Oh, there it is. Season 4. Season 4. Season 4. This game sucks. And Diesel escapes. Oh boy. Bear hug here. Has he got him? Yes, he has. Classic Season 4 moment there. You know, at least the bear hug feels a bit more special than a headlock, let's say. Well, Diesel with a very good debut, and he's going to need that momentum because he's going to face Hulk Hogan in the King of the Ring tournament. And that's going to be a real tough challenge. I wonder what Shawn Michaels thinks of this Diesel guy. I wonder what Razor Ramon. Sorry, Scott Hall. Who's Razor Ramon? Alright, Scott Hall. Well, formerly Razor Ramon, actually. That would make sense. I can say that. I wonder what those guys think of this Diesel guy, you know? I wonder what Hulk Hogan thinks of Diesel coming here to Raw. Well, he's going to meet him next Sunday in the King of the Ring tournament. One of the first round matches. Congratulations to this newcomer, this young upstart Diesel, as we move on to our next match. Well, it was at the first ever Elimination Chamber event 3 years ago that Shawn Michaels won his first and only WWE Championship inside the Elimination Chamber. That being said, he clearly has an upper hand when it comes to the idea of the Elimination Chamber. But is Shawn Michaels the same man he was 3 years ago? I mean, he hasn't come near the WWE Championship quite the same way. Michaels, of course, defeated his own partner Triple H in that Elimination Chamber match to become the second WWE Champion in history. He only held that title for a month, losing it to Christian, the first ever Royal Rumble winner, the very next month at WrestleMania 1 in a crowded Fatal 4-Way matchup. Christian somehow overcoming Triple H, Shawn Michaels, and Batista to win his first and also his only WWE Championship. It was definitely a very different time back in Season 1, wasn't it? Well, Michaels has got a really tough opponent for this Chamber qualifier here tonight. That is for damn sure. Ambrose has never set his sights in the WWE title. You know, right now there is actually a feeling in the air that the WWE title is easier to contend for than the United States Championship, simply because Cody Rhodes has not lost the United States Championship since SummerSlam. He's been untouchable since SummerSlam. Meanwhile, the WWE Championship has changed hands multiple times since SummerSlam from, well, who won it at SummerSlam? That was, I believe that was still The Rock at that time. Randy Orton won it, and then Goldberg won it, and then Randy Orton won it, and then Austin won it. So yeah, obviously, that, in a way, that feels more achievable. We had 4 championship changes in the time that Cody Rhodes won the United States Championship. Dean Ambrose is someone who has challenged for the US title on a few occasions, and he's come up short on a few occasions. Maybe he'll have better luck with the WWE title, believe it or not. He's one of the top-ranked guys on Raw right now when it comes to the WWE Championship, so this is a really big opportunity for Dean Ambrose. As I mentioned before, he's never competed in any kind of contenders or qualifiers or anything to do with the WWE Championship, so this is new grounds for Dean Ambrose here tonight. I'll tell you one thing, that's for damn sure, and that is when Cody Rhodes loses that United States Championship, if he ever does, he is a shoo-in for a WWE Championship opportunity, or World Heavyweight, depending on where the draft leads him to. But I will say that for sure. I think Cody Rhodes is a certainty. What a great reign Cody Rhodes has had as United States Champion. And you know what's amazing is that since WrestleMania 3, where Damien Sandow, who had a pretty damn long reign in his own right, lost the title to Dolph Ziggler, there has only been 2 United States champions, from Ziggler to Rhodes, and, well, that's it. That's crazy. That does not happen very often here in this universe. Just ask the World Heavyweight Champions of the last year. All of them. Dean Ambrose and Shawn Michaels, a pretty game competition for tonight's Raw. And of course, the Shield seem like they're pretty much set to go to WrestleMania with the WWE Tag Team titles. There'll be no title defenses other than the WWE and World Heavyweight Championship at the Elimination Chamber event. So, you know, I mean, I assume we'll probably get like some title defenses on Raw, maybe, or maybe not, to be honest. Actually, I think it might be best to preserve the champions, have them at their very best for the biggest night of the year. I mean, dude, look at the lineup of champions we've got right now, and the fact that generally every title is on the line at these events. What, from Raw, that would certify matches for Randy Savage as the European champion, Rollins and Reigns with the tag titles, Rhodes with the US, and, well, the WWE title could change hands, so I can't say. Well, right now, though, it would lock in awesome for a WWE title defense. Some pretty great superstars set to compete at WrestleMania. Obviously, the same goes for SmackDown. I mean, maybe we could use a better hardcore champion, but that's just my personal opinion. Ryback, Sandow and Steiner, and Andre the Giant, the Intercontinental Champion. Andre, very deserving of a WrestleMania match. The year that guy has had. But of course, there is time for them to potentially have to defend those titles. I'm not saying that no one will. Between now and then, you know, you've got to imagine that most champions would have to defend at least once in the span between the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania itself, because there's an 8-week gap there. I think it's actually longer, but we're having another off week or two. Leg sweep by Dean Ambrose. It's interesting, when a lot of people come up short in winning one title, they generally can have to, like, step down and go for another title. So for Dean Ambrose, you know, in the terms of, like, the steps to get to the top, he failed to win the United States Championship. Perhaps he should set his sights on the European Champion, a lot of people would say. But instead, he's here tonight competing against Shawn Michaels to possibly get a WWE title opportunity. And obviously, if Michaels hasn't had it great lately either, and he's about to get it a lot worse if he doesn't get out of the way, oh boy. Oh my god, face first. We'll get him in the ring. I'll get him counted out, I guess. Countouts work too. Well, never mind. he's up already, everybody. Don't worry. Shawn's fine.
I'm having a hard time figuring out what they're going to do next.
Drop kick failed to connect there, and ooh. Shawn coming in hot with the strikes. this might be a first time that we've seen these two face off one-on-one. There definitely seems to be some awkwardness in the ring. Dean Ambrose, out of the ring, I guess. Dean Ambrose going back inside the ring for a count of 6, and now Michaels is in as well. Big right hand takes Shawn Michaels down. Dean Ambrose goes for the cover, and obviously not going to put Shawn away with a right hand. It's going to take a lot more than that. Unless we're talking the Big Show's right hand. That's different, though. Shawn Michaels, big neck breaker. And he goes for the cover here on Ambrose. Nope, just one. Just one. Still got a lot of time in this match, I'd imagine. I thought maybe not for a minute there. That clothesline very close to 3, and Michaels with a great reversal here on Dean Ambrose. Oh, Ambrose turning it around. Oh no, is this gonna be? That's it. So Dean Ambrose joins Drew McIntyre, Mick Foley, and the WWE Champion Stone Cold Steve Austin in what is becoming a very opportunistic Elimination Chamber. Well, you want to talk about big opportunities, this could be a career-making one for one and a career-resurging one for the other. Because up next, former WWE Champion The Miz faces a guy that's never come near the WWE title in Daniel Bryan. And the winner of that match will compete in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. So what an interesting match we got your way up next. We saw this a few weeks back. Miz got the best of Bryan. Will he do it again tonight?
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring from Aberdeen, Washington, weighing 192 pounds, Daniel Bryan.
Well, as I said just a moment ago, this could be a career-changing moment for Daniel Bryan. Much like Dean Ambrose, he's come up short in challenging for the United States Championship, but some could argue that Cody Rhodes is just on a whole other level right now. The WWE title, I mean, the Elimination Chamber is a very favorable situation for anyone to have a career-defining win. It's a completely unfamiliar environment for newcomers to it, and obviously, what with there being all these multiple members in the match, it could really shake things up and change them in a big way. I'm sorry if you can hear my neighbor's dog barking in the background. It's been going for over an hour. It's gonna go all day.
And approaching the ring from Illinois, weighing 231 pounds, The Miz.
Here he comes, everybody. This guy, much like Stone Cold Steve Austin, he's not been champion in quite a long time, and he's actually the one that ended Stone Cold Steve Austin's original run as WWE Champion. His reign of dominance came to the end by The Miz off of a Money in the Bank cash-in. It would be interesting to see history be revisited between those two. And see if maybe The Miz could do it a second time, this time without a briefcase to his advantage. And I believe John Cena also softening up Austin as well back then. So, there we go, Miz and Bryan here tonight on Raw, and I do apologize that we'll be getting quite a few rematches in the coming weeks, but obviously, we've hit that point in the season where, like, A, we're starting to say goodbye to certain people here and there, and B, the roster is very stale at this point. That's why we do a draft every year, because we've already seen most every available match between everyone on the rosters, so doing the best we can with the limited availability, and we've only got to deal with it for another 6 more weeks after this one. So it's not 1 week, but we're doing the best we can. I hope that I will manage to make this at least kind of interesting in the meantime, because this is definitely an uphill struggle at the moment to get through. Some great back and forth here. So far, it seems like every time Miz gets back on his feet, Daniel Bryan finds a way to knock him back down. Just like that. But that's the thing, is Daniel Bryan is a very technically sound competitor, and you know, he's very fitting for a challenge for the WWE Championship down the line. Daniel Bryan is another guy he's never really gone for the WWE Championship. He's been around since season 2, which is, you know, it's a pretty damn long time, whilst he was just getting started over here on Raw. Miz and Austin were competing for the WWE Championship over on SmackDown. So this is an interesting way for things to play out here. And you know what else is interesting? Let me just say this, for those of you that don't know this, Daniel Bryan is one of extremely few people, by the way, this is more talking about the draft coming up, never left Raw. Always been a member of the Raw roster. Is that not interesting? I was thinking about this the other day, and I was trying to think, like, who's like never left their brand? And all I could think of was like Bryan here on Raw and Undertaker over on SmackDown. I don't think we've ever had. I mean, we've had people like stay on the same roster for quite a long time. Like, I think Triple H got drafted over to SmackDown, and he has never come back since. You know, we've had situations like that, but I can't really think of people that have been like lifers, you know, since season 1 or 2 or whenever they debuted. I mean, three's not really fair because that was only last year, but like people who, especially from like season 1, that have like never changed the brand. You know, like Christian, for example. Christian has always been over on SmackDown. Edge has come here to Raw. Christian has always been a SmackDown superstar. I find that kind of stuff interesting to think about, because it's kind of one of those things you don't really notice until like the draft's coming up, and then you go, oh, that could be interesting. We might see this guy or that guy leave their brand. You know, another one before he unfortunately was let go thanks to the NWO, Kevin Nash has never left Raw. Maybe Diesel. maybe Diesel will end up leaving Raw. I don't know. I don't really know why that's related, but I just wanted to mention that. Drop kick to the leg of Daniel Bryan. That'll be perfectly set up for the figure 4 leg lock, a move that The Miz pretty much never does. And why would he? The skull crushing finale is so much more impactful. Miz and Bryan finding themselves on the outside, and Miz just tearing it apart while Bryan stares. he didn't really mind Miz doing that. He's like, that's interesting. Okay. Always wondered what was under there. And now The Miz, yeah, he's running around all right. Oh boy, Miz coming from the top. Oh. Well, Daniel Bryan will be up by the count of 3. No, not even the count of 2. Never mind. And Miz continuously kicks Bryan, but Bryan grabs his boot. And now they find themselves going back into the ring, sort of. Very awkward exchange here. This is very reminiscent of the match we just saw, our table break, and then getting stuck outside the ring. So if that's anything to go by, then The Miz has got this one in the bag, because Dean Ambrose won after putting Michaels through the table outside the ring. Good kick to the head there by Daniel Bryan. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Daniel Bryan. Oh my god, Miz wasted no time. Skull-crushing finale. And you know what? The last few months have been very much, I want my title back for The Miz. And he may well do it, because The Miz is in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. Wow, wow, wow. We've got a lot of opportunities in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber. Miz right now the only former WWE champion in the chamber, everybody. Drew McIntyre, Dean Ambrose, Mick Foley never held the title. Obviously, Austin, the current champion. Miz is the only former champion in that chamber right now. We'll find out if Batista or Yokozuna occupy that final spot in the Elimination Chamber up next.
The following contest is scheduled for one fall. Making his way to the ring, weighing 505 pounds, Yokozuna. Listen to this
Well, 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 this is definitely an interesting and I'd say fitting final qualifier when it comes to the Elimination Chamber. We've had some big qualifying matches, but this one really, I think, will be the one that shakes things up in the chamber match itself. Yokozuna and Batista, two very threatening superstars to anyone that sets foot in the ring with them. I'll say this, if Yokozuna enters the Elimination Chamber, I think this guy's gonna need to come in at the start of the match. He can't possibly go in a pod. Those things are such a tight space. He could probably fit in one. I'm just being mean now. Hey, he's a very big man, though. He's a very big man, Yokozuna. And again, this is someone who I don't think has ever really challenged for the WWE Championship in the year that he's been around. So this is a very big opportunity for Yokozuna here tonight. I don't believe he's ever had a shot at the WWE title in the last year since his debut, and he's had a very good run here on Raw so far. This might be all he needs to change things for the bigger and the better. But of course, let's not forget his opponent here tonight, a man who has become obsessed with winning the world title again. And he has never held the WWE Championship. Second reign came to an end as World Heavyweight Champion in a unification match between the two titles. That unification did not last long, thankfully.
From Washington, D.C., weighing 290 pounds, the Animal, Batista.
For those who don't remember that situation, let me take you back to a year known as 2011. That was the last time Batista was the World Heavyweight Champion. He won at WrestleMania 2. And he lost the title pretty shortly after because the draft led to him and The Undertaker both being on the SmackDown roster, which led to the idea that we needed to merge the titles so that there wouldn't be two world titles on one brand. But thankfully, Raw stepped in and they managed to take the title back. The WWE title, that is. No. Yeah, the WWE title, that is. And neither title was retired, thankfully. You're talking about a guy who has been extremely focused on trying to get a championship back around his waist. That has been Batista. This guy has challenged the WWE title quite a lot in the last season. He has had one of the most difficult challenges in The Rock come his way several times over. Let's see if he can overcome Yokozuna here tonight and maybe finally achieve it at the Elimination Chamber next Sunday. Of course, for Yokozuna, this would be a first-time opportunity, and that could be all he needs to be the very best WWE champion we've ever seen. Oh, just about ripped his head off with that clothesline.
Big elbow. Huge shot to the midsection.
Great takedown there by Batista. And you know, this is the interesting thing you got to think about, right? One of the people in the King of the Ring tournament is The Rock. Now, there are superstars in the Elimination Chamber like Stone Cold Steve Austin, The Miz, and I would say Batista would be another one that, if you know, should he win, that are people who have repeatedly challenged and lost to The Rock for the WWE title back when The Rock was on top as WWE champion. So what happens if, let's say, Batista, Miz, or Austin come out of the Elimination Chamber with the WWE title, but then The Rock wins the King of the Ring tournament and Jericho picks the World Heavyweight Champion? Fate will have aligned in a way that leads to one of those three coming in as the champion, finally on top of The Rock, but then they're going to face him at WrestleMania, and that's going to be extremely difficult. I feel bad for everybody in that King of the Ring tournament, knowing that The Rock is a competitor in it, because he is going to be one hell of a hurdle to overcome. The longest reigning world champion of all time, the longest reigning WWE champion, and the longest reigning combined champion, barring Drew McIntyre's US title reign we've ever seen. I would say The Rock Definitely going to be an extremely tough challenge for anyone that has to set foot in the ring with him. And I feel bad for everyone involved in that tournament. It's going to take a miracle to knock that guy out of the tournament, if you ask me. And with Randy Orton's recent track record, that's going to be real tough for him. What a return it was last week, though. The Rock coming back, dropping Randy Orton with the rock bottom, letting it be known that he is back just in time for WrestleMania season. And it was last year that The Rock won the WWE Championship from JBL. He ended that reign of terror and then went on to have a much more dominant reign himself. Batista's been pretty damn strong against Yokozuna so far in this match, but obviously it all boils down to who can reverse a finisher and hit theirs first.
Remember, momentum in the WWE can turn on a dime.
And we've still got that 2-on-3 handicap main event here tonight. Austin and Mick Foley willfully outnumbering themselves to get in the mind of Drew McIntyre and take on his buddies Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal after Drew defeated Austin, one of the biggest shocking upsets we've had in quite some time.
The tension, the drama. This is electric.
Clothesline sends Yokozuna into the corner, and now Batista just pounding away on Yokozuna, and he launches him across the ring.
Series of strikes. And that's a stiff kick.
Breaking the eyes of Batista. Yokozuna getting a little vicious here. Back and forth between these two. And a spine buster by the Animal. Batista takes down Yokozuna. Cover attempt here. Has he got him? Is he in the chamber? Nope, just a 2 count. But you know what's coming next. If Batista can help it anyway. Oh, maybe we're going to get a bonsai. Nope. Whoa, what the? Okay, belly to belly. Wait, what the? Hogan? Well, Hogan has had his issues with Yokozuna. I don't really know why. It seems like Batista doesn't want him out here either. Hogan, you're in the tournament. You don't have to worry about the Elimination Chamber. Maybe he's afraid of one of these two going to WrestleMania with the WWE Championship and he wants to cheat them out of it. I don't know what the hell Hogan is doing out here. As I mentioned before, he's had these issues with Yokozuna for a while. I don't really know what it's all about. I guess he just decided he didn't like him. And Yokozuna outside the ring.
Looks like we're going back inside.
Kick to the midsection and back in the ring goes Yoko. And Batista. Kick to the midsection. Here we go. Oh my God. Batista bomb. Straight to Yokozuna. Cover in the middle of the ring. And Batista, oh, he's not going to join the chamber. Not yet. Wow. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh, okay, never mind. I thought we were going to see a bonsai drop for a minute there. Yokozuna, oh. Well, Batista managed to mostly get out of the way of that. Not fully, but enough. Belly to belly takes down Batista by Yokozuna once again. Hogan, are you just out here to stroke your own ego? You're facing Diesel at the King of the Ring tournament. Worry about that. Batista going for another Batista bomb, but Yokozuna plants his face into the mat. Well, now this is becoming a violently unfavorable match for Batista. Yokozuna continues to get distracted by Hogan, though. And a choke bomb. Shout out to the former World Heavyweight Champion, Khali. Everybody loves him. And now Batista. Figure 4 leg lock. Interesting choice of move here by Batista. That did not work out in his favor. So far tonight, we've seen Dean Ambrose and The Miz join the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber match. Mick Foley and Drew McIntyre already confirmed for that match. And Austin, ooh, WWE Champion set to defend in it. One more spot left to be decided. Oh, I thought it just was there. These two are really giving it their all for that final place in the Elimination Chamber. I would expect nothing less from two superstars of this caliber. Oh my god. Belly to belly by Yokozuna. That's got to be it. That has got to be it. Goodbye to you, Batista. Once again, those hopes and dreams have been shattered. But with that, Yokozuna joins the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber as the final confirmed participant. That was an extremely hard-fought fight. Well, let's hope that this doesn't eat away at Batista too much and that he is able to continue to keep his mind in the right place and focus on whatever comes next for him. It'd be a shame to lose him again. Recently, the reason he left was because he had come up short in trying to become WWE Champion one too many times. He says he's focused. That's not happening again. Now let's hope it isn't, because Yokozuna is the final entry in the WWE Championship Elimination Chamber.
The following contest is a handicap match. Approaching the ring from Setauket, Long Island, New York, weighing 287 pounds, Mick Foley.
Well, that's it. It's time for our main event here on Raw. We've found out the 3 competitors for the Elimination Chamber. Of course, we also know who the 4 competitors will be in the King of the Ring tournament. And get a load of this. I've got next week's Raw already ready to be announced here tonight. Kicking things off next week on Raw will be the in-ring return of The Rock, as he is set to face off against Mick Foley ahead of the Elimination Chamber event. And this guy here will main event next week's Raw.
And his partner from Victoria, Texas, weighing 252 pounds, the WWE Champion, Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold Steve Austin will main event next week's Raw once again as he faces off against Hulk Hogan ahead of the Elimination Chamber. And of course, if you notice a theme here tonight, well, next week, sorry, on Raw, it's that all 10 participants of the King of the Ring and Elimination Chamber matches combined will be facing off in singles matches. We'll be having Dean Ambrose up against Drew McIntyre, Diesel will face off against The Miz, and Yokozuna will face Randy Orton. All of that coming your way next week on Raw, 6 days before they all compete in either their King of the Ring tournament or the Elimination Chamber. An interesting little crossover, and you got to think one of those 5 matches might end up being the WWE Championship match at WrestleMania. We might see that rematch for the title at WrestleMania in one of those 5 matches. Isn't that crazy to think about? Well, unless it's Dean Ambrose and Drew McIntyre, because those are the only 2 where they are both in the Elimination Chamber match. Otherwise, it's people in the King of the Ring tournament up against people in the Chamber match. So, here we go. This is a very interesting situation. Last week, Drew McIntyre reminded us all that this is a guy that at one point seemed destined to be World Heavyweight Champion when he defeated Stone Cold Steve Austin to kick off Raw. It has got to be one of the biggest historical upsets we've ever witnessed, and it has led to this opportunity here tonight, and of course the even bigger opportunity next Sunday. Drew McIntyre, with a win over Austin, secured his spot in the Elimination Chamber. Here tonight, he teams with his 3MB buddies Heath Slater and Jinder Mahal to face off against Austin and Foley. I cannot kill time that long. Thank you. One thing I cannot wait for in 15, no more loading times.
His opponents, Heath Slater, Drew McIntyre, and Jinder Mahal.
Playing off of PC and having it installed on an SSD means there will be no loading times. Thank God for that. Well, I mean, there will be, but they won't be very long. They'll be very hard for me to edit out of the video, to be honest, because they're barely going to be noticeable. But anyway, Heath Slater, surprised to see him leading the charge here tonight, considering it's Drew's big moment next Sunday. But I guess he is the front man of the 3MB after all. Does anyone know what instrument these guys play? I mean, they all air guitar, so I guess just 3 guitarists? Who's the drummer? Wow, this could be such a huge upset next Sunday if Drew McIntyre leaves the Elimination Chamber with the WWE title. But it could happen. It really could happen. Especially if he gets that number 6 entry, you know. The first 2, they start off against each other, but there are those 4 pods, and whoever gets the latest pod, I'd say they have a pretty big advantage. Could be Drew. To start things off is Mick Foley up against Heath Slater, and Foley's been a little obsessed with making Austin proud. And that's exactly what he gets an opportunity to do here tonight as he goes up against Heath Slater to start things off in this 2-on-3 matchup. And I guess somehow, some way, we've ended up with Austin and Foley on the same team again. I mentioned this many times over the last few weeks. It seems like Austin doesn't really have any interest in teaming with Mick Foley. He's very actually happy to be where he is right now, which is WWE Champion, which removes him from the tag title rankings entirely. So Mick Foley will not let it go, though. He wants to believe that he and Austin are destined to have some kind of great WrestleMania moment together. Maybe they'll face each other at WrestleMania. I mean, no, they can't. It's not possible, but you know, I just hope that Foley, in his obsession with teaming with Austin, he doesn't try to be in the chamber, you know, just to cost Austin the title, because he has said that he feels the WWE title is coming between those two, and I hope that that doesn't mean Foley is literally only competing for the WWE title in the chamber to stop Austin from leaving with the title. He feels like the championship has come between them a little too much, and it is now stopping him from embracing his friendship with Mick Foley. This could be a little less of an upset than last week's Raw if 3MB win here tonight. I mean, they definitely have the numbers advantage, and that could definitely benefit them. But I want to say, now this could be wrong. This could be wrong. And I'm willing to accept that if it is. I believe 3MB have never won as a trio. I believe that to be true. I don't think this team has ever won. They've won tag team matches. You know, I mean, they made their debut officially last year at WrestleMania 3 when Slater and McIntyre beat Edge and Christian for the tag title. So they've definitely won in 2-on-2s. But I don't think as like the 3 of them teaming in one match, they've ever actually won a 6-man tag. Or a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1 or whatever. I don't think they've ever competed in a 3-on-2 or 3-on-1, to be honest. I think this might be the first time here. I could be wrong about that. You might be able to fact check that and tell me if I'm right or wrong. But yeah, I believe they've always come up just that little bit short. 3MB, of course, one of my biggest disappointments personally in the last year. They had such a great moment at WrestleMania, and then the team of Yokozuna and Tensai very, very quickly humbled them, and that was the end of their reign entirely. They have unfortunately not come anywhere near the tag titles since, so that's pretty unfortunate for them, but there's still time. I mean, no, there isn't. Let's be honest. They've lost to the Shield countless times. I don't think they're anywhere near the tag team titles anymore. Austin, I think, taking satisfaction in humbling Drew McIntyre right now after he suffered that shocking loss last week. You gotta remember, Austin, just 24 hours before facing McIntyre at the start of Raw, he was in a grueling fight with Randy Orton for the WWE Championship. He gave it his all. Now we're seeing Austin a little more closer to 100%. He's had a whole week to recover for this match here tonight. However, this is not a very favorable match for Austin or Foley. Because it's great. Oh, Drew tagging himself in. Jenna didn't seem to like that too much. Uh-oh. Last thing we need is issues amongst 3MB. Jinder calling for the tag repeatedly after Drew tags himself in. And that's the thing you got to worry about is Drew's ego could get the best of him here. He is Now technically one step above his teammates. Drew has the longest reign in Universe history, by the way, for anyone who doesn't know. United States champion for 301 days. Admittedly, if you want to be technical, he threw that title down on the first night of holding it, retired it, and then became European champion, which he debuted. And he didn't hold that for nearly as long. But the reason that you can count Drew's 301 days as a little more official is that he made up all 10 title defenses week after week after week to make up for the amount of time he had that title inactive. But not long after that 10th defense, I think he lost it to Rey Mysterio. Technically speaking, Drew was only champion for, I think, 70 days. Is what that would be, because that'd be 10 weeks. Well, 77. But, officially recognized as 301 because of the way the title was reinstated. Not everyone agrees with that, and that's fine. Oh boy. Jinder Mahal. I thought he was going to get a mud hole stomped in his head for a minute, though. I guess even Austin's not that sadistic. I mean, when you look at the Elimination Chamber for the WWE title coming up next Sunday, we've got a lot of big opportunities. Mick Foley, Dean Ambrose, Yokozuna. Oh no, I'm forgetting someone. Mick Foley, Dean Ambrose, Yokozuna. There's Miz and Austin. And of course, Drew McIntyre. There are 4 superstars in that chamber that have never held the WWE title. I don't even think they've had opportunities at it. I know Yokozuna hasn't. I know Foley hasn't. I know Dean hasn't. I don't know if Drew has. I know he's competed for the World Heavyweight title before. I don't think he's ever competed for the WWE title. So this is a big night for a lot of those guys in that match. Stone Cold Stunner on Jinder Mahal, and Foley takes out Drew McIntyre as he tries to make Austin proud. And now Austin took a little too long to go for the cover there, I'd say. And Slater, I don't know if Slater broke that up or Jinder kicked out, but either way, the Stunner is not the finish for this match here tonight.
These guys are giving it absolutely everything they've got.
This one I could genuinely see boiling down to that 20-minute time limit. You know, I don't think we've had a time limit draw once since that was introduced. We've had matches come extremely close to the time limit, but I don't think we've ever actually had it. It's basically there as like a security thing to make sure the episodes don't go for too long, because sometimes matches can go way longer, especially tag matches. It also helps to time things when I later write up the time breakdowns for the wiki. Tag made a Mick Foley. Jinder Mahal, I feel, has really hogged up this match quite a bit for his team.
This is about skill and power.
It's about drive, too. Right hand and strike after strike after strike across the back of Jinder Mahal. Austin going full Ultimate Warrior on the ropes there. Warriors, what?
Oh, come on now, that was just uncalled for. Oh, out of nowhere. This may be the beginning of the end.
Well, the Waterweight Championship Elimination Chamber is going to be very interesting. Obviously, unlike the Raw WWE Championship Elimination Chamber, where there are 4 people getting a first-time opportunity, and obviously Miz and Austin, the only former champions in that match. Miz, the current champion. I mean, sorry, Austin, the current champion. Over on SmackDown, between John Cena, Mark Henry, Big Show, and Triple H, they have all held the World Heavyweight title. We do have 2 qualifiers coming your way this Friday on SmackDown. If you're curious to know who's in the final SmackDown qualifiers, the longest Waterweight champion in history, Sheamus, faces off against the Ultimate Warrior. And Robert Scorpio faces off against Wade Barrett in the 2 qualifiers there. So for Scorpio and Barrett, there is a definitive never held that title before I don't even know if they've ever competed for that title before. As for Warrior and Sheamus, well, Warrior's never had or competed for that title for certain, but Sheamus, that's his baby. That's the title that he clings on to more than any other championship he's held in the past, because he holds the record as the longest reigning World Heavyweight Champion of all time. And he's been dying to get that title back. See if he can beat Warrior this Friday on SmackDown. And Sheamus has definitely lost a lot of momentum lately. One and just a kick out there. We knew this was going to be a tough uphill battle for Austin and Foley, but I would say that systematically they are wearing down 3MB right now. I would actually say that this is looking more and more favorable for Austin and Foley as time goes on. They've got a lot of offense in against these guys. I saw Slater, I believe, favoring his head moments ago. Obviously the stunner. That's going to really be the final nail in the coffin for Slater in this match if he can connect with it. Now, this is not elimination. I know a lot of these types of matches generally are. This is a first fall to the finish. Austin makes the hot tag in. Here comes Mick Foley. And he, of course, does not go anywhere with that hot tag. Okay. Drew McIntyre calling for the tag. He wants to be the one to do the damage. And Slater thought about it. He said no. Are there issues amongst 3MB right now? It definitely feels that way. They don't seem to be communicating very well with each other at all. Elbow across the midsection of Heath Slater. And tag made to Austin once again. The WWE champion is back in the ring. Riding the highs of becoming WWE champion still. Came up short last week against Drew McIntyre, but that's what this is all about tonight. It's about redemption. He can't get McIntyre out of the Elimination Chamber now, but he can show that he can beat McIntyre and his boys here tonight. Cover attempt here on Heath Slater. Is this going to be enough for Austin? Oh, they bumped into each other and almost got the win there as more miscommunication led to Jinder and Drew colliding with each other as they tried to help Slater. Drew keeps calling for the tag and he is not getting it. Is there a little bit of jealousy maybe for the fact that Drew is getting a WWE title opportunity? You know, Heath's been around since season 2, I believe, and he's never had an opportunity. Jinder Mahal, not so very long, but obviously he's always been in the shadow of whoever he's been with, whether it was his brother Khali or 3MB. I feel like, unfortunately, Jinder has always come up a little short here. Drew has had a great run in the past from a European champion, US champion, tag champ. He holds the record for the longest US and world tag title reigns, by the way. Cover attempt off of that. Is it going to be enough to put Austin away? No, Foley breaks it up. He managed to get right around Jinder Mahal to do it, too. And now Heath Slater. Oh, smash hit. I call every move of Heath Slater's a smash hit. Mick Foley back in the ring once again, and he keeps Austin in this. What an upset that could have been there. And the double team here. Double DDT. Austin into the cover off the double DDT. Jinder Mahal right there to break things up. He misses! He missed! Jinder missed! He failed to break up the pin, and Stone Cold Steve Austin and Foley winning the match with their double team, and Drew cannot believe that his team came up short. They had the odds in their favor.
Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mick Foley. I love a good tag.
Well, I mentioned this many times during this match. There seemed to be some cracks in the foundation of 3MB here tonight. I think it was a little bit of jealousy over the fact that Drew McIntyre is getting a WWE title opportunity. But hey, the WWE champion Stone Cold Steve Austin and his buddy, I guess, Mick Foley, winning here tonight. They'll be against each other in the chamber. But here tonight, they are victorious. And with that being said, we now know who will be in the chamber. We know who will be in the King of the Ring tournament. And I'll see you on the final Raw before Elimination Chamber next week.